Hey guys, today is Monday, February 22nd, 2021. I'm here with a little message to pass on for us throughout this week. I actually want to say that I recorded this video last night / pulled these cards yesterday. And you know me, I'm always about like sharing the video that I record. Like the first one, I'm not even thinking about it, but something with this one just said like sit, take a step back and like don't do it yet. I had just woken up. And it was just like, there's a message that's coming in. You feel what I'm saying? And I just felt like this urge to like start pulling cards. Like I was like, oh, like this will be like for the week. Like, you know, everybody's going to have this in advance. But something was like, not just yet. Like see how you feel when you get back home. Because I was supposed to go somewhere yesterday. And now it makes sense as to why. Because it's a message that even me, myself, like need to be more conscious of. And it's all around communication, obviously, and how we communicate with others and making sure that we are not choosing violence this week, okay? Because sometimes we like to choose violence. Like sometimes we like to, you know, say what's on our hearts, like say what's on our spirit, like, and just kind of like let it like come out in whatever form that it's going to. And that is not what we need to be doing because people are very sensitive and now it's starting to make sense. First off, thank you for being here. Thank you guys for helping me out with this or whatever the divine channel is coming through because it just feels very calm. Reminding ourselves that we are in the midst of Pisces season. Everybody's mad emotional. Everybody's mad sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's very intuitive. And it's just like sometimes the words that we use or sometimes how we like bring things to people, even if it's like the most, like it's some shit that somebody really needs to fucking hear. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to be very conscious of how others are going to receive things in this time because, you know, sometimes we'll say something and it's with the best of intent, but it's not received in the way that we intended for it to be because it was a little, you know, sassy, a little petty, like, you know, a little mouthy, like, or maybe we just weren't very clear with the emotion that we were trying to share. And it's really important for us throughout this week to bring a gentle touch. So the card that came out is the Deer Spirit, number 18, breaking down to a 9. So this is all, to me, like completion or just like endings in regards to how we feel about being sensitive or just like being loving and lovable. Love that I'm talking about this on like 222, obviously. Because that's all about like connections and like partnerships and like harmony to me. So I think about this as like bringing a gentle touch to our relationships, bringing a gentle touch to how we communicate this week, bringing, you know, a little bit more of like a balanced state of mind because we also had the Two of Swords come out as the card that I kind of like clarified this oracle card with. And this is all about like making decisions. So like in your conversations this week, in your discussions, you feel what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to choose to be a little bit more polite than you normally would be? Okay, because sometimes we like to, you know what I'm saying, like pop, pop, pop at the mouth. And we ain't really got to do all that this week, okay? Like, we can really just, like, come from a place of love, come from a place of, like, checking in with ourselves and being like, is that really what I need to say? And if it slips out, because I definitely had some shady-ass comments come out yesterday, and I was like, you are being really bitchy right now. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, like, and I really meant it, and I'm going to go back and make sure that I affirm that I meant it today, because I'll actually be, like, seeing some of the same people today. So it's just like, listen, like, I don't know what came over me. I really need to check myself. And I think that's another thing that we have to, like, keep in mind. Like, we are okay. Like, we can check ourselves. Like, and if we need to check ourselves, like, that's a level of transparency. That's a level of, like, maturity that everybody, I'm not saying everybody don't have, but everybody don't have it, okay? So it's just, like, how can we be mature and how can we be conscious of, like, we could say something that really could break somebody. And that's not what we are trying to do right now. Like, nobody really needs that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's just addition onto whatever, you know, whatever else is going on. And if you really got to address something, just be conscious of how you say it. And is this a way that you would want to receive that same type of commentary? Like, you know, sometimes you need to add a little spice to get your point across. But it's just like the spice that you may normally use, you may not have to use that same brand of spice. Like, instead of you using like Old Bay, like you can use, I don't know, like, girl, you could use, like, what's it called? Like, tapatilla or something like that, or Cholula. Like, you could use something else. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could switch it up. So, let's go ahead and get into the reading of the card for the Deer Spirit. It says the time has come to be gentle and diplomatic when dealing with others. You might have found yourself in a situation where negotiations are necessary in order to reach your goal. Be mindful of the words you choose, but do not worry. The Deer Spirit reminds you have the ability to be sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect for others. You will find, hold on, because I don't flip too many pages, that your capacity for calm and grounded communication is heightened at this time. Follow the way of the deer spirit and you will do well, gaining the respect of others and finding common ground that's pleasing to you. Remember that understanding others and their needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own first. Let me say this again, because I said it twice yesterday and it needs to be said again today. Remember, understanding that others and their needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own first. If you do that, you will be rewarded tenfold. So even if, and you also have to keep in mind, like, sometimes we just don't have it. But there are times where other people have sacrificed for us and we may not know it in order to be there for us. And I think about it as just like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Sometimes we truly don't have the capacity. Sometimes we truly don't have the bandwidth. But there's a sense of, it's just about being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, I completely hear you. Like, I'm ready to, like, I'm here to listen for whatever you need. Please, like, understand, like, I just got off of work, maybe a little, slow to respond, but I'll be right there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if it's a text message or something, or if it's something where you're having a conversation with like a coworker or a boss, or somebody that you have some sort of like, close relationship with, and they are spilling some things to you, or they just need your opinion with something. Like, this is something I am trying to like incorporate more into my life that I haven't. Actually, we're not going to do that. What I'm working on incorporating into my life more is just being conscious of whether or not people want advice or whether people want to vent. Because sometimes people just want to get whatever's on their chest off of their chest. And sometimes people are looking for like, somebody to like respond. Because I know that me personally, like sometimes when people give me a little bit of advice, like that, maybe that's not what I wanted. Like maybe that's not what I was asking for. Maybe I was just talking to you because I wanted to get this shit off my chest. And it's like, yo, I hear you, but it goes in one ear and comes out the other. And it's just like being conscious of like the situations where you should be asking that. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting back, taking a moment to just like center yourself before you respond. Because a lot of what I've been noticing even with myself recently, especially because of my yoga teacher, shout out to Amy over at Elitist Yoga. We have been talking about just like the breath. And what I've been doing is just like centering myself. Like if I feel like I start speaking, I'm like, hold on. And then when I feel ready, and I feel like I can speak openly, then I'll jump into the conversation. I'll jump into like the discussion a little bit more. So that's like a piece of advice for you wherever you are. Like take a moment to like breathe through it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and allow yourself to bring a gentle touch to your conversations. Bring a gentle touch, even if it's a conversation with yourself, like giving yourself a little bit of grace this week is very important. And thinking about like, are these the things that I need to be arguing with myself with right now? I don't know why, but it's just like, there are people dying, Kim. Like that's the energy that I think of like for some reason. And it's just like, do you need to choose violence this week? The protection message, it says the deer spirit is bringing you a gentle warning. Now is not the time to engage in an argument, no matter how volatile others are being. Do not match their intensity with your own. If you are dealing with an overly assertive person, step back and disengage, lest you agree to something out of alignment with your intentions. Do not let anybody bully you into anything you're uncomfortable with. Don't let anybody bully you into anything you're uncomfortable with. And if you feel like they are bullying you, I think this is a moment where you have to remember you have the opportunity to stand your ground and stand on your own 2 feet. And that may be difficult. You may not have done that before, and you may not know how to do it completely, but it's all about the effort and it's all about trying right now. It says you have solid footing if you stand your ground with grace. Those who disagree will begin to find their own gentleness and willingness to compromise. The deer spirit also brings the message. It may be easy to offend someone today or take offense because someone else lacks diplomacy. Let all of that pass. You are not meant to take this world personally. While it is a beautiful gift to be sensitive, today you need a tougher hide so that any compromises you make allow you to maintain your integrity. It's all about being you and knowing, like, if the shoe were on the other foot, what would you want to give? Like, is it even given what it's supposed to give, like, with this other energy? And it's just like you have to determine and decide whether or not you want to match that. And most of the times you don't have to. Like, and you'll start to recognize how much more you are in control of the energy in your space in a positive way, and being able to, like, also be honest with how you feel. Because I'm not saying, like, if you tight, like, don't say you tight. Like, you got to get that off your chest. But it's just like there's a way to get it across without it being grating or without it being offensive or accusatory. Like, you don't have to give all that fire to people. You have to decide what you want to choose as far as like this conversation, or just like balancing how you want to go into it, or being conscious of like the other foot, you feel what I'm saying, or the other side of the coin. I feel like that's why this Two of Cutlass / Two of Swords came up as well. Really just like checking yourself. And then also just like, if you notice that you fucked up somewhere, how do you like admit this to other people, or just like even admit it to yourself, and then circle back in order to just like address it like later on. The bottom line here is you cannot stand in the middle of a decision forever. This exemplifies of forces in a battle of opposition. It can suggest you are betwixt a conflict that you have the power to mediate. However, the outcome is unclear and a stalemate ensues, and you are stuck with a decision to make and no instruction manual on how to do so. It can also suggest that once you are honest with yourself about the details of a dilemma, you will be better equipped to make that difficult decision, and that deliberate action will set you free. Let me say that one more time. Honest with yourself about the details of the dilemma, you will be better equipped to make that decision, that difficult decision, and that action, deliberate action, that's going to set you free. So once you get real about what the fuck is going on around you, and you're honest about the next move that you need to make, you feel what I'm saying? And just make that right decision for you. And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, because it goes against what you may have like always done. But like, isn't what you've always done going to get you what you always get? So like, if you try something different, you feel what I'm saying? Like, can't that be of assistance? So that could be apologizing. That could be putting yourself out there in a different way, like, making yourself vulnerable. This could be a variety of different things. You know where this applies for you. It says this is not something that can wait, and this decision needs to be made now and with transparency. So it's all about just like checking in and allowing yourself to kind of just like remind yourself that, one, you can't take everything personally. Everybody's having their own journey. I think that that's something that I am starting to consciously become aware of. Like, I feel like in my world, in my own personal world, like a lot of the times, like I forget my humanness and I forget others' humanness sometimes. And look at them as just like people, but forget that they are people with their own visions, their own journey, their own perception about like life. And a bird just flew by, and whenever I see birds, like that was a message I got last week. I think I may have shared that with you guys about like the birds being important, and then bringing messages. This is a time where it's just like important for us to remember, like everybody's on their own personal journey, and everybody takes things or feels things differently. And sometimes we're not mind readers, but it's just about like keeping in mind that like, as long as we come from a space and a place of just like peace, with these decisions, or with kind of like, with these moments where we just have to remind ourselves that it's sometimes like it's a decision for us to just be in a good place. Sorry, my train of thought went somewhere else. Like it started like going all over the place. Let me recenter. And I think that that's also sometimes like, if we go through that, like being honest, like, girl, my bad, I was not listening because my mind went somewhere else, and I apologize for like not being on point. It was like the birds, and it was just all over. So now I'm back in my little whirlwind. No, this is a moment for us to just like center ourselves in what we need and what we know that we deserve and what we know that we would want, and then just like kind of like extending that to other people. And sometimes people won't give us that, but like you may set the tone, and you may start moving the wheel for something else to happen, for you to receive that love, or for you to receive that harmony in a different way. And that's going to be the sweet spot. Okay. So please keep that in mind as you go throughout this week. Please understand that, you may receive an answer to something in your gentleness. And it's like you get, the phrase comes like you, get more, mosquitoes or more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, or whatever it's called. So just like keep that in mind, and allow yourself to be a little bit more sweet, allow yourself to be a little bit more attuned to like this sensitive ass energy. Pay attention to your dreams, because I feel like they're saying a lot. I've had a lot of different like dreams, over the last like couple of days, and I'm starting to be able to hold on to them at this time a little bit more, like not too much, but I can hold on to a couple more visions from them, and I'm trying to write them down. So I would suggest that to you. I've also been pulling cards from this deck called the Hero's Journey deck, before bed again. And I don't do it every night. I do it like every couple of nights. So tonight is my night to switch that up. So I'm just like getting into like new routines, like really like spiritual, like grounding routines. And also, noticing how long it takes me, in my day to do that. So maybe those are some of the things. Oh, last thing. The deer spirit animal. Before I forget, thank you, guides, for reminding me. I wanted to read what it means for us. So I found this on spiritanimal.info. It says, when you have the deer as a spirit animal, you are highly sensitive and have a strong intuition. By affinity with this animal, you have the power to deal with challenges and grace. You master the art of being both determined and gentle in your approach. The deer totem wisdom imparts those with a special connection with this animal with the ability to be vigilant, move quickly, and trust their instincts to get out the trickiest situations. So, meanings: combining both soft, gentle qualities with strength and determination. Gentleness, the ability to move through life and obstacles with grace. Being in touch with the inner child and innocence. Being sensitive and intuitive. We're all in that moment right now. Vigilance, ability to change directions quickly, and magical ability to regenerate. Being in touch with life's mystery. So this is all about just like letting things happen, knowing why maybe not knowing fully why they're happening, but trusting that it's happening for like the right reason. And let some of these things like intuitively, naturally, universally come to you and provide you the blessings that they want to, okay? That's my message for today. That's my message for this week. I just wanted to touch base with you guys to tell you how much I appreciate you all. I hope that your month is shaping up pretty well. This is the last week of February, so make it count. It's the first week of Pisces season, last week of February, so I want you guys to go into this knowing that March is bringing a lot of blessings. It's going to be March Madness. I have a feeling about it, but it's all about, like, if we do this work now, it'll benefit us in the back end. And just be very honest with your feelings, be very honest with where you are, and know that as long as you go into it from this very grounded state of mind, everything is going to be okay. I love you so much. Please stay warm. Please stay safe. My prayers are with those that are in Houston, those that are dealing with snow all over the place, the homeless folks. Like my brain is all over the place, and just like extending love to anybody that needs it in this very moment right now. I hope you receive that and feel that from me. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. We will talk again very soon. Hallelujah. Holla back.